Church here, and welcome to the Game Grinder, and today we're doing an unboxing video, and much as the title states, this is the Last Guardian Collector's Edition. And before checking this out, I just want to talk about Team Ico and Last Guardian, a little bit of story time before we get to the unboxing itself. So actually, Team Ico is kind of a long history for me. I know many people as well. So when I first got my PlayStation 2, I actually bought it off a friend, and with that I got Ico and Smuggler's Run, and I was kind of just mesmerized by Ico because it was such a different and unique game and looked gorgeous. Like I love how they design the style of the characters at the time anyways. And then with Shadow of Colossus, I used to go over to my friend's house, Artificial Raven, and watch him play through it because I didn't have it at the time, and I wasn't really playing a lot of PlayStation 2 at the time because that's kind of when I was big into PC gaming, and it wasn't really until years later that I got around to playing Shadows of the Colossus. Now, I don't actually have Ico anymore. I used to have it, and then, way back when I actually sold it and just haven't reacquired it. But I do have that in the HD collection of Ico and Shadow of Colossus, and as well I have Shadow of the Colossus, which I actually bought off of my friend Artificial Raven. So The Last Guardian has been something I've been anticipating obviously for a long time. This is a game that's been in development hell for like 10 years, and nobody ever thought it would come out. And I actually think it's kind of funny that a lot of people are sharing pictures right now of The Last Guardian along with Final Fantasy 15, which was also in development hell for about 10 years or so. Originally it was going to be Final Fantasy Versus 13 or 13 Versus, I can't remember exactly, but yeah, so pretty crazy. So I am super excited for this. Of course, as always, when there's the game that I am excited for and I see a collector's edition, gotta have it. I'm out of room, but I gotta have it. So without further ado, let's start checking this bad boy out. So of course, The Last Guardian, not a whole lot to the box. Side looks kind of like a wood grain deal. Of course, on the back it shows what it comes with. So I'm going to slide off this slip cover and we can out a little further. Well, the seal was a pain in the butt to get off, but as I'm taking this off, I'll just kind of talk about The Last Guardian a little bit. So really, The Last Guardian, including Shadow of Colossus and Ico, are kind of minimalistic games. Straight to the point, you kind of have your main focus, but they're all about the mechanics, a lot of kind of puzzle elements to the games, and just really, really cool character animations. They're very serene, very melancholic, just very unique games. And if you've never seen either, I'd really recommend checking them out, especially the Ico Shadow of Colossus HD collection, which is relatively cheap from what I believe. But The Last Guardian, basically you play as a young boy, and at some point you meet up with Trico, which is kind of like a griffin-looking creature, dog bird, I've seen people call it online, but looks to be another game right on the vein. I haven't watched a whole lot. Of course, I've seen many of the teaser trailers that everybody else has seen, but as far as gameplay goes, I like to avoid a lot of that just for spoiler reasons. But yeah, so it's crazy. Words escape me. But let's go ahead and check this out now. So, of course, we got the box on here, The Last Guardian. And let's go ahead and open this up and check it out. So, the first thing here is the art of The Last Guardian, which is a pretty nice looking art book. Actually kind of reminds me of a lot of books I had when I was younger. There's a series of children's books that my dad got me that had a very similar kind of binding and whatnot, but let's just kind of check this out real quick. Art of the Last Guardian, and of course there's going to be lots of concept art, character art, area designs, and things like that. As always, I say I love art books, so I will definitely spend some time checking this art out in a little bit here. One thing I usually don't care about at all, just because for some reason I have a weird distaste for stickers and the word. I don't know, it's just one of those things. But I got a little sticker sheet of Last Guardian stuff. And then, of course, we have here the Steel book. As always, I really like Steel books. This one's pretty nice looking. I like the kind of simple style to it, but yet looks very powerful to what the game is. And then pop this open here, and we got a soundtrack. It looks like it's just a download code, unfortunately. I thought it might have been a physical soundtrack, but yeah, so that is that. And then kind of the main deal here is going to be our statue. So it looks like there is some assembly required here. So let's see how easily I can do this. So just, I guess kind of to show off how it's packaged, which is kind of good. Of course, we have the statue of Trico, and then there's the little figure of the boy. So I got to get that out and attach it to Trico. So let's check it out. All right, so that is pretty neat. Yeah, really cool that the scaling of everything. You know, I've seen the videos, but seeing something physical is kind of cool. So just real quick before I put them on here, got the figure of the little boy. Let's see if I can get him in focus. Probably not. Just this is not the best camera in the world. See if I put him in front of my face. Yeah. So, anyways, and then let me pull out the statue here. Alright, and we got the statue of Trico. So let me go ahead and attach the boy, and there it is. So that is our statue. This thing is really, really well designed. Lots of detail. Even the little whiskers, I'm not sure how well you can see these. They're actually, you know, whiskers and whatnot. And yeah, just trying to get this, so excuse my idiocy for a moment here. So that is the statue of Trico. As you see, like I said, it kind of looks like a griffin. You can see the dog bird reference that people have given it, but the base looks pretty neat, kind of just, you know, a little grassy setting, and it says The Last Guardian. So that is pretty neat, I think. Let me tilt it over, make sure nothing falls off, just so you can kind of see a little better. So that is a statue, and that is a pretty wicked little statue. Totally worth it. Pretty solid. It kind of feels like the base might be a little hollow to some extent, but the rest of it is pretty solid feeling. I'd imagine, you know, if you screwed with the whiskers or the claws, that they would probably break off, and maybe even the wings, but nonetheless, of course, I am super careful with any of my gaming stuff, and, you know, as is for the time being, as my game room is set up, unfortunately this stuff will sit in the box until a later date when I finally have a game room where I can display a lot of the extra junk that I get. So yeah, so that is that, and that will actually do it for this unboxing video. So I would be very interested to know if you are going to be playing The Last Guardian. Are you excited for it? You know, have you been waiting for this game for a long time? Have you just learned about it? Did you ever play Ico or Shadow of Colossus? What were your thoughts on those games? And, you know, what were your thoughts on this collector's edition? I'm pretty happy with this one. You know, pretty straightforward. You get the art book, get the steel case, get the statue. That's kind of like my staples for any collector's edition. For some reason, I'm kind of starting to grow fond of the slipcovers. You know, the slide-on shell to the box. They're kind of annoying. They easily get dented up in the corners when you're trying to put them back on and whatnot, but I think they're kind of cool, especially when they really kind of tie it in with something a little bit more interesting with the box. So yeah, so I will stop rambling here, and of course, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you next time on the Game Grinder.